Hi, Rob here.
And I'm Heidi, and we're here to go over shoulder mobility and stability.
The move of the month for October. So before we get into any of the strengthening or stretching exercises, we're going to start with a small warm-up. So to start with, we're going to do some arm circles front and back. So she's going to start with some long, slow arm circles to the front. She's going to start going into some arm circles to the back now. And now she's going to go ahead and pick up the speed and change the size of them to a little bit smaller, a little bit quicker. Good. Next one we're going to go over is going to be arm opener. So what she's going to start with here is getting down into a deadlift position. So keeping that back nice and flat, slight bend in the knees, keeping that tummy nice and tight. And she's going to go ahead and start swinging the front, swinging back, so really trying to open up the shoulder blades, and then close down the chest at the bottom of that movement. Good. And the last move we're going to go over is going to be dive bombers. To begin, I'm going to have you go ahead and get down into your pike position with your hips nice and straight up in the air, keeping those legs straight. You're going to begin by dipping the head down, going nice and low towards the ground, coming up into that cobra stretch, and you're going to go back in that same exact movement. So take yourself through a couple of reps of this. If you need a modification, you can simply come down to your knees, cross your feet back behind, and then you're going to go ahead and basically go through the same exact thing, except you're going to be from your knees. Put a little bit less stress on that shoulder joint until you're ready to take up to your toes. So you're going to go ahead and take yourself through each of those three movements, about 1 minute each, 2 or 3 reps. The next part of the routine is going to be the stability portion. This is going to help strengthen those tiny little intrinsic muscles around the shoulder joint. So the first one to go ahead and go over is going to be banded pulls. So you're going to need a bit of a thicker band for this one. You're also welcome to use a lighter band and fold it over a few times. So all you're going to do is take that band nice and wide, and you're going to go ahead and squeeze everything back, pull those shoulder blades back and together, and coming back in a nice, slow, controlled fashion. So take yourself through probably about a minute of this. Again, going through about 2 or 3 sets of that, really focusing on the back portion, squeezing everything back and behind. The next movement is going to be internal external rotation. So what you're going to start off with is your towel. You're just going to fold it over a few times. This is going to help us keep everything in place as we're doing the movement. You're going to go ahead and take your lighter band, loop it through any stable object, pull-up bar, Smith machine, or most of your racks are going to work just fine. Loop it through once, pull it out to the side. So internal rotation, you're going to go ahead and take that towel, stick it right underneath your elbow, holding on with your hand upright position, and walking out until you start to feel that stretch. And all you're going to do is follow a nice straight line, pulling your pinky in towards your chest. Alternatively, working external rotation, you're going to go ahead and complete the same movement, bring everything in that same position, and you're going to go ahead and walk until that pinky is coming in towards the chest, and you're going to go ahead and rotate out, coming in nice and slow. So go ahead and take yourself again through about a minute of this, rest, and go through about 2 or 3 sets. The third and final portion of the routine today is going to be the mobility aspect. So we're going to start with our PVC pipe, and we're going to go ahead and get into some pass-throughs. So the goal here is to keep your body nice and upright, keeping your arms straight, lifting from the pelvis, up, overhead, all the way to the back of the hips, and then coming back in that same exact pattern. As you get a little more mobile, you can go ahead and take your hands in a little bit closer, because it's a little bit more challenging through that top portion. You want to start with about 15 reps of this, working on getting your hands in a little bit closer. So what you want to avoid here is bending your arms as you go back. You also want to avoid stressing your neck out at all, pushing it down or pushing up. You want to keep everything upright, keeping your chin just off your chest. So that's going to be your PVC pipe pass-through. The next 2 exercises, you're just going to need your mat, and you're going to take everything down to the floor. So what you're going to do here is lay all the way back, nice and flat, keeping your feet flat. You're going to drive your elbows straight down into the ground, pulling everything back, trying to get your wrist and your knuckles down into the ground while keeping your lower back pushed into the ground as well. So while keeping a nice straight line from your shoulder out to your elbow, you're going to go ahead and work from the front to the back. So try a couple of reps of that. And then again, while keeping everything pushed down to the ground, you're going to go ahead and try a shoulder press movement, pushing up, pulling back down to that 90 degrees. So the last one will be a little bit more intense, a little bit more of a stretch. You're going to go ahead and come over onto your side. You're going to take your bottom hand extended out straight to the shoulder, 90 degrees. You're going to take your ear pushing down onto your shoulder to go ahead and keep everything in place. You're going to go ahead and then lift that hand up, and with your other hand, you're going to go ahead and work pushing it down into the ground. Main goal is to try to keep your shoulder down to the ground as well. Holding for about 30 seconds, relaxing, going to the other side, and then doing the same thing, trying about 2 or 3 sets of that.